on the air.
Oh, hello, and welcome to an episode of Accent on Education. My name is Laura Hoover, and I am the Culpeper County Public Schools Director of Communication. In today's episode, we're going to talk about cell phones. Cell phones have increasingly become more of an issue in our schools, interrupting classrooms and instruction, and just become an issue for our students. Back in June of 2024, the Culpeper County School Board came together and said, we need to look into this issue because they were hearing more and more from teachers and school administrators that cell phones were interrupting the operations of the school and instruction on a daily basis. So the board decided to get some more information from the stakeholders, and right after that, we received the Governor's Executive Order 33 that said effective January 1st, 2025, cell phones were no longer allowed to be in our schools from bell to bell during the instructional day. So what were we going to do? Cell phones were such an issue, but something had to change.
Culpeper County Public Schools got to this point with Yondr pouches because cell phones were a huge detriment in the classroom for our students, both academically and socially.
It was challenging in the classroom. I had a no cell phone policy, but yet you still had kids with their hands down here. You knew they had their phone out or checking their watches or looking for messages. So I never felt like I had their attention.
So Executive Order 33 came out and Culpeper said, okay, this is from the governor, we're going to do something about it. And this is the program that Dr. Brads chose to implement with the approval of the school board as well as full support from every administrator in the county. The Yondr program is a pouch that every student was given that they can put their phone in the morning, lock it up, keep it with them all day, and then at dismissal they can unlock with a magnet on their way out to the bus, on the way out to their car, or on their own cars.
So when our students come to school, they'll come through one of our three main entrances, and there's a handful of teachers there to greet them. There are unlocking stations. They unlock their empty pouch, place their phone in it. Also any other auxiliary devices like a smartwatch or earbuds. They put it in there, lock it, they show that pouch to the teacher, and they proceed on in.
Now, what does the student do with their Yondr pouch? At that point, they can hold it because some kids just need to know where their phone is. They can put it in their pocket, or they can put it in their backpack, and they take it with them throughout the day. Are they allowed to take it out during the day at all? Absolutely not. Not in the hallways, not at lunches. The only time they can take it out is after I have dismissed the whole school. And we have magnets throughout the building. So we have them stuck to walls, we have them on tables, we have teachers in specific corners where there's a lot of traffic.
We have tables on wheels where our unlocking stations are. So if things change from semester to semester or there's a new reality, we can move those around. And it's easy to put them out and to put them back away at the end of every day.
Now with Yondr pouches, I feel like the line is very clear. There's no question about where your phone should be. And even if students are behind the scenes not complying, we still aren't seeing the phones, which is the goal.
Classroom is less stressful and my focus is on teaching and the students versus engaging negatively with one student for a behavior that they shouldn't be doing anyway.
What we've found is teachers are completely pro Yondr pouch. We've taken the fight away from them and given it to admin because if we catch kids, I don't expect the teachers to do anything with it. We come and do it.
In the past, that had been an issue. If there was a student who had their phone out in class, it was on the teacher to have to say something to them. And sometimes that created some tension between the teacher and the student. And at this point, it's not like that.
They take it out of my hands as the teacher. I call the office, I message the office, and admin would come handle it. Or I will just call the office and say, look, Mary Jo's on her way up. She had her phone out, and she'll go up to the office and they will deal with it up there. It's not mine to deal with.
Yondr has helped us to walk into a classroom and instead of seeing how many kids are sneaking an earbud or trying to look at a phone in their lap, instead they're engaged in the lesson and they're engaged with each other. They talk to each other. You can see it. The hallways, students really enjoy being with one another instead of making sure they're catching up on what happened on Snapchat, in the last hour and a half. The lunchroom, it's more engaging. It's louder, right? But it's a good loud.
Students seemed very open to the process, or at least the majority of students. And they really have shown a noticeable difference, and the implementation was way easier than I thought it was going to be. I usually walk around at the beginning of class and check homework anyway, so I just made checking Yondr pouches at the same time part of the process.
I have high hopes for this, that students will kind of learn to re-engage and socialize with each other and not be so bombarded and likely stressed out because they feel like they always have to check something on their phone or engage with someone else through their phone instead of in front of them.
They're talking to each other in the hallways, they're talking to each other in the lunchrooms, they are paying attention in class, there's more group discussions. The distraction that is a phone, even for adults, is now no longer allowed to be there.
They didn't really realize how much of a problem cell phones had become until they could see that noticeable improvement in the way that they functioned in class.
I see happier teenagers, more engaged teenagers, and less stressed and trying to learn and figure things out again the way we always had to, without the constant distractions. So I just think they're a great tool.
So this semester will be our first full semester. So I think that those quantifiables as far as what do test scores look like, we have a full semester of discipline data, also pass rates, all of those things will come to fruition at the end of the semester.
What I can tell you is acts of aggression are down. Acts of major inappropriate behavior are down. If there's an emergency, number one, I'm handling it in conjunction with the law enforcement department, with my SSO, and we would follow any crisis with our crisis manual, and none of those involve students having their phone. Students still have access to their Chromebooks so they can email their parents. If there's an issue at school where a student needs to talk to their parent, we go old school. You can go to the office, you can go to your counselor. We have 234 landlines in this building, and that's a way that students can still contact their parents without using their phone.
Yeah, I think overall just the general public should know that they have been a really good thing, that it is supporting students' mental health as well as their academic endeavors.
And I've got quite a few kids that have just said, I've decided not to bring my phone to school at all. I can get it when I get home. I don't even need it as much anymore.
So we've heard from our principals and our teachers, and our school board and central office are all excited about how the Yondr program is going. But there's one group that was a little less excited about the Yondr program when they first heard about it.
I was definitely a little bit hesitant because it just was such a huge change from what we had been used to for so long.
I was terrified. I was like, there's no way this is real. It felt like a dream kind of, but I mean, I did it, here we are.
My friends and I were very skeptical. We weren't really looking forward to having to have our phones locked up.
I think since Yondr's been implemented, there's definitely been a change in people's faces, in hallway changes, during different activities that happen throughout the school day, whether it's in the lunchroom or in the auditorium. People are engaged and involved in what's happening.
That was definitely a big shock for me, was just walking around the hallways and you could see everyone's eyes instead of them looking down. Or at lunch, my friend, we just immediately started talking a lot more, which was really fun.
I feel like you hear more people just talking and communicating with each other, and you see it too. Especially on Fridays when we have games and it gets kind of intense, like if you have Uno or something like that.
I think it's a fantastic idea because I'm not on my phone all the time now. I get home, I don't feel the need to stare at my phone all day like I was during school.
They have not been on their phones as much. They get home from school and sort of forget that they even have their phone.
I think it honestly brought us all closer. We all wanted to hang out more the more we put our phones down, and we were just enjoying the moment, just being there, present.
As you can see, there's complete buy-in for the Yondr program in Culpeper County Public Schools from the top down, starting with our school board to our superintendent to our principals, teachers, and our students. We look forward to seeing the positive impact that this program will continue to make in our schools and in our students as we move forward. If you'd like to learn more about the Yondr program in CCPS, check out our cell phone page on our website.